September 1991, Phillips, Oklahoma. The small-town life of Jesse James Cummings was anything but simple. He lived under one roof with two wives, Sherry and Juanita, a disturbing arrangement he'd maintained since marrying Juanita in 1989, without divorcing his first wife, Sherry. In that same crowded house lived their children and Jesse's elderly father. It was a pressure cooker, and soon it would explode into a nightmare. On September 8, 1991, Jesse walked into the Atoka County Sheriff's Office. He calmly reported his sister, Judy and Moody Mayo, and her 11-year-old daughter, Melissa Moody, as missing. He told the clerk he'd heard that Judy's broken-down vehicle had been spotted at Atoka Lake. Jesse provided photos and descriptions, playing the role of the worried brother to perfection. But the truth was far more sinister. The very next day, Judy's body was found floating in a pond near Atoka Lake. She had been shot multiple times and wrapped in a quilt and a mattress pad. This wasn't a runaway. This was a brutal murder. And the sister Jesse reported missing was dead. The case of the niece, Melissa, remained open. Then, a month later, a grim discovery. Melissa's skeletal remains were located by a bridge in Choctaw County. An exact cause of death was hard to determine, but the bones showed evidence of sharp force injuries to her ribs. This was now a double homicide. For 3 years, the investigation stalled. Jesse and his two wives relocated, trying to leave their bloody secret behind. The summer of 1994, Juanita, the second wife, found herself working for a local minister, driven by a need to unburden herself. She confessed to the minister that she had shot Judy, but claimed Jesse had made her do it. She also said Jesse wanted her to kill Melissa too, but she couldn't. When she returned from work, Judy's body and Melissa were gone. This confession blew the case wide open. Juanita was charged with murder. Then, in a stunning development, so was Sherry, the first wife. Both women, facing serious jail time, took plea deals and testified against their shared husband, Jesse James Cummings. The trial testimony from both wives painted a horrifying picture. Sherry testified that Jesse, before leaving town on September 5th, ordered them to kill Judy. He threatened them, saying, "If you don't do this, I will kill Juanita's son and tell police she's the one who committed the murder." Fearing for her child, Juanita went through with it. As Sherry watched, Juanita shot Judy in the living room. They cleaned the bloody scene. The 11-year-old Melissa was locked in the back room, handcuffed to a bed. When Jesse returned that night, the wives disposed of Judy's body with him. But the horror didn't end there. Juanita testified that Jesse then had his two wives unhandcuffed and undressed Melissa. Jesse then committed an unspeakable act on his niece. Afterward, he drove his niece Melissa and wife Sherry out into the night. Sherry fell asleep. When she awoke, Jesse and Melissa were gone. He returned alone, blood covering his hands and the front of his coveralls. He had stabbed his niece to death. Sherry and Juanita, once forced accomplices, became the state's key witnesses. Jesse James Cummings, the man who manipulated his two wives into murder, was convicted of killing his niece, Melissa Moody. He maintained his innocence to the bitter end, claiming his wives had become lovers and framed him. He pleaded his case, even after the jury delivered its verdict. September 26, 2008, Jesse James Cummings was strapped to a gurney in the Oklahoma State Penitentiary. His final words? A claim that the justice system had let him down, and a defiant plea of innocence. In the end, two women who chose between their lives and their sister-in-law's life, who were then forced to watch as their husband escalated his crimes to a horrific level, faced justice. Juanita received life for second-degree murder. Sherry received 35 years for being an accessory and permitting child abuse. But the one who ordered the killing, who used fear and violence to control his demented world, Jesse James Cummings, paid the ultimate price. Don't forget to subscribe to OKC True Crime for daily stories from the Oklahoma Crime Vault.